from the books and from podcasts and things like that, stuff he does. I learned a lot from him. So that helped me get into the investing as I went later into it. As I started getting a PhD in real estate on what to do and what not to do, that helped me get the strength to kind of get started. So that's how I stumbled into being a landlord and didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have peak property management there, so for me, I just kind of had to figure it out. And it wasn't done well. People were paying on a weekly basis. People were late, this. It was set up horrible, but it gave me and my wife a place to live. Then we bought a house. The house that we bought right after that was $56,000 for us. That was a huge amount of money. And it's like, should we do this? Should we not? Fast forward, I go to Germany and go to officer candidate school and become a lieutenant. I stumble upon a 12-unit apartment building in Martinsville that is available for sale. I had no idea what I was doing. I bought the property and ended up getting money at closing on a 12-unit apartment building. And it was just 1 bedrooms, but I got to do that. And I was like, this is so freaking awesome. I'm like, why isn't everybody doing this? Right. But I got the money back from the deposits and everything. I started managing it. Then I had to go off to my next duty station. I said, well, I was hoping my mom would manage it because she lives almost next door to it. She didn't want to. And so I didn't understand the real estate market and stuff. So I ended up selling it. Ended up getting sued right after that. And what happened was the well went dry about 6 months after I sold it. And the guy's like, you must have known about this. And so he comes suing me. And so somebody pointed me toward a company that I'm still with today. It was called Prepaid Legal at the time, but it's called Legal Shield now. It saved me a lot of money on me protecting myself because that guy was trying to take everything away. And I was like, listen, how did I know anything about a well? And going dry and stuff like that. But he had to move all the tenants out and had to redo everything. And I had no idea. But like I said, it was about 6 months after I sold it.
Wow. So when you had this quad, did you still have the quad when you bought your primary residence?
No, I sold it.
So you sold the quad. Did that help you buy the primary residence?
Yep. Helped me to buy my house, correct.
And then did you have your primary residence when you bought the 12 unit?
Yes.
Cool. So at this point, you're making moves in real estate, whether you sort of know it or not. You're just like, what information did you have, or what resources did you have, or were things just kind of like, Ray, this is available, and you're like, hey, it looks cool?
That's exactly what happened. I didn't know what I was looking for, didn't know how to do it, didn't know how to manage it. I wasn't reading books, and about that time when I bought the 12 units, when I really started reading some books on real estate. Okay. But I'd already bought it, and I was getting into it. Dean Graziosi, I started reading his books from many years ago, and he's probably been the greatest influence on my life on the real estate side as a mentor. From the books and from podcasts and things like that, stuff he does, I learned a lot from him. So that helped me get into the investing as I went later into it. As I started getting a PhD in real estate on what to do and what not to do, that helped me get the strength to kind of get started and get things moving on the real estate side.
Did you continue to invest while you were in the military, and how were you able to manage that?
Because
you're in different places in your deployments and stuff like that. How were you?
I would buy a house because I just didn't want to. Once I understood real estate, I didn't want to rent anymore. I just didn't want to rent. Sorry, I know that's a slap in your face a little bit there, doing the rental management and stuff, but I wanted to buy a house, and so I'd buy a house and I'd rent it out when I left. And I started getting into that. Then I'd eventually sell it when the timing was right. But that's how I became a landlord in multiple locations and using my VA loan and spreading it out through different states and stuff like that. And so that's how I really started getting into real estate. And then I wind up here at Fort Lee when I retired in Petersburg, and I'm like, I'm going to start a real estate group. And I just said, let's do it. Nobody's doing it here in this area. I didn't know Rich Lennon. I didn't know Jim Ingersoll. I didn't know a Chuck Glover. I didn't know anybody. And I just said, well, I'm just going to start a real estate meeting. And so all that kind of just led up. It's like, I want to know more about real estate. And so I started the meeting.